Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Property Manager. I'm Eric Worrell with RentPrep.com, and I'm here with Andrew Schultz of Realty Edge, who is an associate broker and manages about 120 doors in the Western New York area. How you doing today, Andrew? How are things going on your end?
Not too bad. A little chilly out here in the car this morning, but that's all right.
Yeah, I can kind of see, at least from what I can see, the dead trees through your roof there.
It's
that beautiful time of year.
Everything just gets gray and awful for like the next 6 months.
Yeah,
fall. And then road construction starts again. So.
Yeah, fall's a weird season like that, right? It just goes from beautiful to dead in like about a week. But
that's how Western New York is.
You know, we're not here to talk about colloquialisms. Is that the right use of that word? I'm trying to add new things to my vocabulary. I don't know if I used that correctly, but I'm going to go with it.
We'll get you a word of the day calendar.
Yeah. Well, more importantly, Karen here has asked a good question that you selected for today's topic. And what Karen said is, if you have found a property you were interested in, would you use the seller's agent for the purchase, or would you find another agent to represent you as a buyer? So why did you pick this question? What are your thoughts about it, Andrew?
So I like this question because I get to flex my broker muscles a little bit instead of my property manager muscles.
Okay.
I always recommend two separate agents on every transaction. I don't like it, and every state's got a little bit different setup as far as dual agency goes and stuff like that. So the person listing the property has what's called a fiduciary responsibility to their client, which is the seller. If you're engaging that same agent as the buyer, their responsibility is more often than not going to be with their client. Or if they're going dual agent, that means that they're not providing the full set of responsibilities to both people.
So it's kind of like a conflict of interest they're kind of creating for themselves?
In a way, yeah. As long as it's disclosed, that kind of eliminates the conflict, but there's always that question as to who are they really being more loyal to. So I always just say get your own agent on it, preferably from a different brokerage a different brokerage than the selling brokerage. So you've got the selling brokerage and then the selling agent works for that brokerage. Find a different brokerage, use an agent from that brokerage. And the reason I say that is because it just eliminates the possibility of people, or I can't say eliminates, but severely reduces the possibility of people playing games during the transaction and stuff like that. I know for the most part, I list a lot of foreclosed properties. I will not represent a buyer on one of those foreclosed properties. I want them to go and have their own agent simply because my responsibility to the bank in most instances is so ridiculous that they're better off being served by their own agent. I don't really care about the commission dollars at the end of the day. That's why a lot of agents will try to get both sides of a transaction because it double dips the commission. I actually look at it the opposite direction. I'm like, there's not enough money in the world that would give me enough reason to say, oh yeah, let me get both sides of this transaction, and then I can, I'll have the extra money. Or it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So you're better off to just find a separate agent and go with a separate agent when you go to purchase a property.
Yeah, I know the house that I live in now. When we bought that, my agent did a great job of talking down on the price. And originally, I just wanted to go in at asking price, and then he said, "No, you know what? Like, let's just try. You got a good offer. Let's go 5,000 under." And they actually accepted it, which was great. And then after we did an inspection, we realized we were going to have to do some pretty major electrical work, so we got another $2,000 off. But if you have the same agent running both of those, they may not ask for that 5,000 and be like, you know what? Like, the original asking price is pretty solid on this. Let's go for that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're thinking to themselves, well, I already know what the property's worth because I was the one who looked at the comps and priced the property when I listed it.
Yeah.
So they're more inclined to...
Why don't we see if we can get the price down so that I can lose commission on both sides?
On both sides of the transaction. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always recommend two separate agents. Like I said, it varies a little bit state by state, but I'm pretty sure every state has an option for either a dual agency situation or a client-customer relationship where the client is the seller, the customer is the buyer. But at the end of the day, you're going to be best served by having your own independent agent that's not a direct party to the seller or the brokerage that the seller's agent is working for.
Yeah, I think that puts the button on that. So, Karen, if you're watching this, hopefully you got some good advice from that. And anybody else in the Facebook group too, if you're watching these, you can always hashtag a question with AskPM. That will give us something to look for in the group. And we'll look forward to pulling up more questions and talking about more things in the future. So thank you again, Andrew, for your time, and looking forward to chit-chatting again in the future here.
Sounds good.